Good afternoon, GRAR. This is Scott West, your 2025 GRAR President. I'm sitting here with Tim Anders, one of our directors at the Board of Directors.
Hi, everybody.
Tim, please give them a little bit of insight as to what you do on a daily basis and tell us a little bit about your home life.
All right, yeah, no, for sure. I'm Tim Anders. I've worked at Berkshire Hathaway now. We were Prudential Preferred back in the day. I don't know if some of you know that, but been doing it since 1999. And my daily basis, I'm part of the team Anders over there. And so I'm partners with my mom and my dad, and a lot of you probably know my mom. But then we work with my sister and brother, and I've got a large team as well that's really great people. Married to Liddy. She's a wonderful wife of mine. We met in high school and been together since. Then I've got a lovely little daughter. She's 12 years old. Her name's Presley. We have a dog too. His name's Bodie.
Bodie?
Yeah. But yeah, daily basis, I'm just a full-time real estate agent. Not just, I'm a realtor. And it's a tough job right now. So
it is a tough job. I think sometimes we say it like it's really casual, or it's, I'm just a realtor. I hate when people say that. I think it's an important job.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I walked in today to this, and you're like, yeah, you're just putting out fires all day, and so yeah, there's a lot of that, and
for sure,
it's fun. It's a really fun career, and gives you some freedom. So.
And this is your second year on the board, correct?
Oh yes, correct. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's fun. It's something that I was never really something that I was like, oh, I'm called to do this, but. After running for it and kind of getting on the board, I see the amount of effort and energy and thoughtfulness that goes into every process that we go through. And even though some of the decisions are made are not popular, I really see how much care is put into it and why things are happening. So it's really good to see it.
Somebody in your life poked you and said, hey, I think it's time you step up. And
I had a friend that's like, I don't want to vote for anybody that's on those, and he saw my name on the top, and he's like, I'm gonna vote for you, and he's like, call all of Berkshire to do it. And so yeah, I think Berkshire Hathaway got me voted in, so that was nice.
They pushed you a little bit too.
Yeah, and it was kind of fun, and it's interesting to see, and it's also fun to see different aspects of and get to grow relationships with different people in the association that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tim is the liaison for two committees or task forces this year.
Yeah.
One of them is our crisis fund. We have had the crisis fund now for what, 10 years, you said?
Yeah. Yep. This is our 10th anniversary of it.
Tell us a little bit about the crisis fund, what their overall objective is, what they do. They meet. They don't necessarily meet like other committees because they meet when there's a crisis.
Correct. Exactly. We have it kind of scheduled quarterly. Or even a little more frequently than that. But when a crisis happens, and what the crisis fund is set up to do is to bridge the gap between when a crisis happens. So a flood, fires generally are the ones that I think they deal with a lot.
Yeah.
But it's when a crisis happens, and we bridge the gap to allow our local people around town or around the area to have a little more comfort. And give them some funds or help them with a way that they think they need some help. In between really insurance and rebuilding. We're not insurance, we're not that, but the amount of effort that goes into this is incredible. That was my first liaison meeting here this last week, and they were extremely detail oriented in what they were doing on that fund. But yeah, 10th year. They're trying to raise $10,000 this year.
Wow.
And then, and they're just going to, they're going to request everybody to donate $10 towards it. So if we have enough members that donate the 10, it'll get really quick.
I don't think people necessarily all members realize this. We actually have two charities at GRAR. Your typical association doesn't have any charities around the state.
Yeah.
So we're really a little bit unique in that sense. It's something I've always really admired about both West Michigan and GRAR. We're a very philanthropic organization, very philanthropic community. People love to give back, love to volunteer their time, love to help out, whether it's monetarily or through volunteer efforts. And this is just one of the two organizations that we have set up. And it's a true charity.
Yeah.
They file taxes and go through all the rules that normal charities do. And every year, part of their goal is to raise money, and then the other part is how do we step up when somebody's had a house fire, and where do they go? Do they stay in a hotel? Do they need some clothes so their kids can go to school the next day?
Yeah.
They need a toothbrush.
Just recently, the one that we did here this last week, there was a house fire. Two parents and then 4 children were displaced, and that's a huge crisis to that family.
Yeah.
And I believe that we gave a little more than $2,000 to help with a monthly payment of something, or help them with their hotel stay until the insurance kicked in, as well as gave them some gift cards to help with clothing, just simple
Basic needs.
toiletries and basic needs. So it's a bridging of the gap to their life, but it's also giving them some comfort. And then I do believe this task force or this crisis fund, the committee just put out a video, and I'm not sure when that's getting released, but it's a really touching video of a previous house fire that the crisis fund helped, and that was really nice as well.
They did one at the end of last year. I think they're doing another one this year.
Okay.
They're interviewing people that we've connected with and given this money to, just to hear a little bit about how important that was. When
Oh, it was
happened.
touching. I was watching the video and
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is... And Jacob Haar with our creative did a great job helping us out with that.
So you as members, you're curious, hey, I know I donated $50 to this, or I donated $10 to this. You can go ahead and watch that video. You can find it on the GRAR website. Watch that video and find out what your money went to. It's really impactful. Next up.
Hold on, let's stop 1 second. I don't want to... How the crisis fund gets funded are 2 really large fundraising events that we do. And I was lucky enough to be the liaison on both of those last year. It's REBAR and YPN. So supporting both YPN and REBAR, they donate to both of our nonprofits, and that's how both of these kind of get funded. And so they're both really good programs. The Schoolhouse Fund is incredible as well. So sorry. Yeah.
No, I love it. Members, I think it's really important members know that there's somebody out there that's taking really good care of this money that they're donating. And I think as a member, you're out there and you've got an organization like GRAR that's helping people in the community when they're in their toughest situations. So I think that's really neat that we have this. Moving on, we've got an AI task force, which is brand spanking new.
Yes.
This came out of a planning session from 2 years ago. AI was all the rage 2 years ago. It's all we heard about at every conference that we went to. People were really excited about it. We thought, you know what, let's not be late to the party for this. Let's be progressive, let's be forward thinking, and let's put some sort of a task force together that starts to look at ways we as an association can either offer products to our members, or we as an association can start using AI to be a little bit more efficient. So we've got sort of 2 things happening there. Tim is our liaison for this.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about some of the things you've been working on, what you're excited about there.
It's a really unique task force to be part of, because we have different, whether they're not necessarily agents, they're the tech people for different companies of like Remax and Keller Williams. We've got agents that are very tech forward and utilizing AI on a daily basis. And so what's fun about it is kind of like we're getting pitched new products every time we have a meeting. We're taking ideas from different agents that, hey, check this out. Is this something that we can use? And I think what the goal of this task force was to provide assistance for the GRAR employees, the staff, as well as the brokers, and then also as well as the agent level. And so we're trying to create something that will be of use. Are we going to be doing something that's already allowed or that's already there, like in RPR? Like the one that we just looked at was called Real Reports and AI, and it was a really cool program. But when you start digging into it, the actual usefulness is very similar to RPR and what we already have with our relationship with them. And if we utilize RPR correctly, it's kind of there. But man, the different programs we have as far as like back-end CRM help, back-end work for Julie and Pam and all the staff here is really cool. So utilizing, if you guys have ideas, send them in to Julie or Pam or somebody,
or directly to Tim.
Or to me, email them to me. I'll get it.
They'll use AI to sort through the emails.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's a really it's fun, and I think we're one of the only associations, if not the only association in Michigan that has one of these that's really looking into it. I don't know if that's correct. I think I was told that.
Don't fact check us.
Yeah,
but I think Tim's right. I think we are the only association that has even started to look into having an AI task force. It's just another example of us trying to be a little bit more forward thinking, so we're ahead of the curve, and hopefully we can use this with budgetary needs to save money.
Well, and top of mind, that's always on yours, and what I noticed last year with Paul as well as the president, you guys want to make sure that the membership is getting the value out of it and really seeing what we can do. So, yeah.
So yesterday at our meeting, those were two things that popped up pretty regularly. We also talked about this pretty interesting discussion, and this was something that wasn't even on the agenda, and it popped up, and it led to be our probably largest discussion yesterday. It was the uncapping of taxes. So in Grand Rapids right now, values have skyrocketed over the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
A lot of people are sitting in a house that they've lived in for 20 years, and when they move, the person buying that house, those taxes that have been protected to kind of move at a slow rate then become uncapped. And what we're finding is there are some buyers out there that didn't necessarily realize that was going to happen until after the fact, until after they've moved in, the taxes are readjusted, and then they get hit with their payment. So part of what we talked about was probably just some education that we can start putting out, possibly looking at maybe a new disclosure or making adjustments to the purchase agreement to prep people for these changes. It was an interesting discussion.
100%. And there were very valid points. Like Tim Caterberg made a point. He's the new director this year, that it's affecting his selling side as well, because people are getting to, if they're buying a new property, they can't afford the new taxes if they've been uncapped for 20-30 years. So the retirement homes are now just as affordable as what they're currently sitting in. So there's a lot of that. It's our job as the real estate professionals in the industry to actually inform our clients of that. And I think it's that was kind of what the tone of the conversation was, is like, we need to do a better job, or if we're not already doing it, let's inform our clients of what's about to happen and help them make the best decision.
Agreed. Another talking point that we've had at our last two meetings, and it sort of we picked up some stride on it at this last meeting, was the salesperson election. We alluded to this before in a video. Our salesperson engagement when we have that election was about 7% of all salespeople that could vote. So we're talking like 3,000 people, and only 7% of them voted.
210. That's it for the quick math.
Yeah, it's a small number for the amount of people that we have in there, and so we want to spend some time kind of digging in and figuring out how we can get more of the salespeople to get engaged in that vote. So what we've actually put together is in April, we've got a little kind of what we're going to call it a little work group that's going to spend a day. They're going to think about this and come up with some solutions for us, and then hopefully by August we've implemented these changes. But you were in that salesperson election.
I was.
We're very lucky that we have great salespeople running. We've never had an issue with having really good quality people running, but what we would like is membership to have a voice and to use that voice. So similar to what they did in like the 80s with Rock the Vote, how do we rock this vote, and how do we get that a little bit more active within that group?
And I think it's just something about knowing about when the election is, making it almost not a requirement, but like, is it a prompt that's constantly prompting in front of us when we log in to do our work? And I ran up against two amazing realtors and just happened to win, but those guys are just as qualified, if not more, to sit in a board situation. And everybody needs to get involved in GRAR. It's really, really, it's a little self-indulgent. It's amazing. Like, I really enjoy it. It's fun.
The other program that we've been talking about since this last planning session, our planning sessions are typically sometime in late fall, October, November, sometime in that window. We came up with this idea that we've been really excited about. We've alluded to it, but we haven't put it out there. It's an ambassadorship program. The idea of the program, in a real simple way, is to provide a new form of communication to you guys as members. So you read about a change that's happened in the last newsletter, via email, whatever it is. We're creating an opportunity for you to come and learn about what that change is.
Yep.
And Tim's actually going to spearhead that for us.
Yeah.
Buckle up. He's going to be there regularly. What we're going to do is once a month.
Yes,
the
that's
plan.
correct.
In the morning. We don't have all the details worked out, but it'll be in an upcoming newsletter with when it's going to actually be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can show up in the morning and ask Tim questions, ask one of the other directors questions.
Yeah, I'm going to get a commitment from each director to try to show up twice in a year. So we'll have a rotating group of directors, but we'll be sitting downstairs in the cafe, working there for an hour, hour and a half, and hopefully visiting with membership and talking about issues with the association, asking us questions why we did things certain ways, how we're going to implement, maybe even some brainstorming ideas and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
we'd like to see something.
I know, and we would love that, and also it's also showing people to get involved. Like, hey, come run for the board. Come be part of this, and it would be really cool.
That is another aspect that we're excited about. We found out through conversations that some people understand how to get involved, how to join a committee, how to be part of leadership. Other people don't know yet. So we want to create this window of opportunity for somebody. We call it the path to leadership. If you've been wanting to get involved, or you want to know, hey, they made a decision I didn't like, I want to know more about that decision, but also know in the future, how can I be part of those decisions? We're going to show you what that path looks like, whatever that looks like for you. We've got one last little teaser. That's all I can give you right now, but we're really excited about it. GRAR is hiring a new staff person. We're going to have an announcement next week about it, who they are, but the board is just...
Can you tell them what they do?
That I can give you just a teaser.
Okay.
Julie's going to make all
right.
the official announcement, but they are going to be working on public policy with us. So they're going to be out working with townships, municipalities is going to be part of their job, keeping us informed about what's happening in the real estate world that affects us as members, as an association. They're going to have a whole other batch of tasks that they're going to be given, but we're really excited about this person, and I think you guys will be really excited to hear who it is when it's announced.
I am too. I think it's a wonderful thing.
So that kind of sums up our February meeting. Do you have anything you want to add? Anything I missed?
No, I think it was very thorough. I mean, we followed the guideline. It was good.
This
is what I need to be able to do these things. But I think you're doing a wonderful job with the leadership role that you're in, and I couldn't be happier to support you.
Your $10 is in the mail.
All right.
Thank you, Rob.